Hi everyone! So I intended to film this earlier than expected, but I had a couple of disasters happen, which if you saw my community post, I'm still trying to I'm still working on cleaning things up. Like it's a process, okay? But anyways, I am here to talk about the makeup I used the most in 2021. So I'm not going to be talking about makeup that like I tried and liked a lot in 2021 because once I find something I like, I generally use it for a pretty long time. But I'm going to talk about the makeup I used the most often in 2021. So again, this is going to exclude eyeshadow palettes. I don't really think I'm the good candidate for ranking or doing like favorite or best eyeshadow palettes because generally speaking, I pick up what I like, and if I like it, I hold on to it. And I don't really feel like I use any palettes preferentially over other palettes. I have so many that, you know, I only have used each one probably a handful of times anyways. So no eyeshadow palettes. Oh, and one more note, I'm gonna have some products in here that I'm calling honorable mentions. What that means is that I didn't really get around to actually trying them until maybe the second half of November or December. I don't really want to count it as most used makeup of 2021 because I only had it for like the tail end of the year, but they definitely have been surprisingly frequently used considering how short of a time I had them, so I still wanted to at least mention it once or twice, but they're being called honorable mentions because it's not like I've had them all year, so they might turn up next year, who knows. So yeah, okay, primers. Definitely the first one is going to be the JACLYN Under Eye Primer here. I mentioned this in multiple favorites videos at this point and I'm still using it. It's still going strong. Like I said, I think I'm about halfway down this too, but you really don't need very much. So I actually find it has lasted me a surprisingly long time. So I do sometimes complain a little bit about how expensive it is for how much you get, but the under eye primer from JACLYN is unfragranced, which I really appreciate. The next one that I've been using a lot is the Dominique and JD Wadey primer. I've mentioned this multiple times. Of course, especially during the winter, this is going to get used a lot. Yeah, I'll be sad to see it go, but definitely one of my most used. Specific to summer, so not really something I use in the winter, but through the early spring, through the late fall, I'm using this pretty much all the time, is definitely the Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Primer. So again, not being used right now during winter, although as I've said before, the winter in North Carolina has been utterly absurd this year. Climate change is real, so haven't used this very much, but I likely will. It'll definitely be used again once it gets more humid, although it's crazy humid today. An honorable mention is the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. This is really hydrating and it feels really nice. I don't notice any skincare benefits from it, but again, I mostly film at night, so why would I notice anything? But it feels really nice. I've been using it a lot. I really want to try more Victoria Beckham, and I'm gonna have a video about brands I want to try in 2022. I don't know if that'll come out before or after New Year's, but I'm working on that, and Victoria Beckham is definitely on the short list of things I want to try. So far I only have the primer, but I've been enjoying this one. Now we're moving on to foundation. So I am going to say first off is a foundation that I have bought twice because the first time I got it, it wasn't in my shade. And so you know, if I buy it twice to get my shade, particularly when it's not even available in the US, you know that says something. And that would be the notorious Estee Lauder Futurist Aqua Brilliance foundation. I have it in the shade 1N0 now, and you can see that is such a much better match for me than 1W0 was. That was so yellow. The first time I got it, I was in Shanghai and it wasn't my shade, so I ended up seeing that Selfridges has it, so I bought my shade on Selfridges. I love this. It is really moisturizing. It doesn't look oily, but it's very dewy. It just is like a layer of glass over your skin. Definitely just a beautiful glow, and the coverage is surprisingly good, so I really like this. And for the exact same reasons I like that foundation, I really like the HERA Glow Lasting foundation. I feel like this one has a pinch more coverage. I don't know why I have both. Honestly, I feel like they're so similar you don't need both, but I love and use both very often, so of course I just had to be honest and put this on here. And then honorable mention, I have really been wanting to have fuller coverage foundations available to me, but most full coverage foundations are a little bit more matte, and pretty much everyone I've tried has never agreed with my skin. So I finally took the plunge and got the KVD Balm Foundation. So far I've actually been really liking it a lot. I've been experimenting with it a lot, and I will make a video once I nail down the proper base and powder combo that I think works best. I'll definitely make a video to share that. But on top of that, this was like on sale for some reason, so I got the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I'm not even joking. I've wanted this since 2019, but I just never really had a reason to buy it. I also had some like Ulta points or something. I don't know. It was on sale, whatever. I have the shade Porcelain, and I wish I'd gotten this sooner. This is like really good. I would dare say this is better than this, like in terms of the how drying one or the other is. I feel like I can wear just about any primer with this and it doesn't look dry or have dry patches, whereas this is a little bit more high maintenance. That being said, I can't really get this up to full coverage. I know it's advertised as full coverage, but I feel like if I were to add any more, it'd get cakey. So my favorite thing to do these days, so this is the honorable mention. My favorite thing to do is to actually wear this all over my face and then put this on the high points of my face where I need more coverage, and then I have the full coverage without the heavy layers. It is such an expensive combination to wear both on my face at the same time, but I've definitely been really liking how my skin looks. It's what I have as my base on today. I feel like these both together just look amazing. So yeah, definitely had to mention that one. Alright, so let's move on to concealer. So obviously this little guy right here, I've pretty much used 90% of the time I use this. Is really good. I've been using this. I pretty much exclusively use the lightest shade here on the bottom, and there's a pretty significant dent in it. I'm going to use this till it dries out. It is currently in stock on Beauty Box Korea, so if it dries out and it's still on there, I'll just repurchase it. Otherwise, it's time for me to be on the hunt for another one, I guess. Another like replacement. But on the rare occasion I'm not using that and I just want like lighter coverage, no makeup, just going out for something, I use the Lancome Teint Idole concealer. I adore this. This is like really good, you guys. This dethroned my MCGRATH concealer, which is fuller coverage, but I feel like this just meshes with my skin and doesn't dry me out and feels a lot better under my eyes. So definitely really like this. Next, for setting spray, the D'Alba setting spray. This is it. This is all I've been using. I love this. I have a backup. This is probably about 3/4 of the way done at this point. I'm gonna use it till it runs out. It just feels so great to just feels so good to just put on my skin. It just feels amazing. I love it. It can, if my base is looking really dry and my pores are really showing through and I feel like my skin just doesn't look good, I can spray this on and kind of tap it in a little bit and poof, my complexion is just much improved. Like, it's not going to look amazing like if I had my favorite combination of products, but this can really rescue a bad foundation day. And yeah, I really like it. I have nothing bad to say about this. I feel like this does everything I need it to do. It's not like as concrete of a hold as All Nighter, but in exchange you have the hydration, you have the beautiful finish, you have a really good mister. This is like fine, delicate mist on your skin. Like, it feels amazing. Powders next. This was a toss-up because like with my primers, my powders change seasonally, so I tried to keep my categories down to like 2, 3, maybe 4. I'm trying not to be too overwhelming, but yeah, some of these powders are definitely really seasonal, so if I haven't been using them in recent videos, it would just be a seasonal thing. But the first one I had to mention is of course the Nakia Joy Velvet Setting Powder. Mine is the vanilla version. They do have an unscented version, which you know, this one's, it's not too strong, but if I ever finish this up, I would definitely want to get the unscented version. They also have a pressed version, which I don't have yet, but is totally on my list of things to get in 2022. This is godly. I have definitely raved about it before in other videos. I don't understand how this is so good, especially because she herself initially made it for oily skin, but I feel like you could have any skin type and it would look really good on you. So, and also it like totally erases all of your texture and all of your pores, which is just like sorcery. So it's just really good. It is definitely kind of my ultimate matte setting powder. Now on the glowier side of things, JACLYN Mood Light is definitely a strong favorite for what I use the most, definitely especially during the winter, and I even do use this as like a finishing powder, just like to buff on the high points of my face to look like a highlighter if I don't want to have like the world's beamiest highlighter ever. This is really just a great all-purpose powder. I feel like it looks good used in just about any way possible. I've even sometimes taken it and kind of dabbed it over my eyelid to make my eyeshadows look satin. I've done that before. It looks really pretty. So yeah, I love this, and once I run out, definitely will rebuy. And then lastly, kind of my most common winter powder by far is going to be the Kogendo Moisture Powder. I have had such ridiculously dry skin this winter. Not any drier than normal, but it always catches me off guard how dry I become, so I've almost exclusively been using this. Particularly if I'm using like my KVD Balm Foundation, this is really about the only powder I can use with that, and it just is amazing. It sets my skin, slightly mattifies, and it doesn't dry my skin out or introduce any dry patches at all, so this is definitely a really great powder. I love this so much. I have lots and lots of powder favorites. I've mentioned in my other video, like reacting to other favorites, I've mentioned other powders before, but I was really trying to keep it tight. But honestly, I love just about every powder that I currently have, otherwise I wouldn't have it anymore, so, you know, trying to pick my favorites, this was difficult. Alright, contour and bronzer. I actually don't have very many because almost all the bronzers I am using right now are like my honorable mentions that I just discovered. But let's get started. I like was totally on a bronzer hunt this year, and I feel like I found some good ones, but I definitely want to keep looking into next year, keep looking for good bronzers and contours. So the first one that I really like is Westman Atelier Biscuit. I feel like this is Fenty Amber but improved. So I actually don't have Fenty Amber anymore because this just basically is better. The color is better, the formula is better, everything about this is better. It has a little bit more warmth to it, a little bit more beige to it, but it still has that amount of gray. So it just looks perfect. I don't have it on today, I have something else on today, but this is absolutely perfect and I love it. I wish I had like a powder in this color because that would be perfect. So yeah, this is really good. The only downfall really is just that Westman Atelier is so expensive, it's ridiculous. And then I did use this particular product really often up until I didn't, basically. So like up until November or so, and then suddenly I found my honorable mentions. But the Nabla Skin Bronzing and Soft Revenge. So this is significantly darker than I would usually get, but because this is kind of that baked powder or like the really densely packed powder that needs a really dense brush to pick up, I wanted to get a darker shade so that way I didn't have to like go completely ham trying to get it to show up on my skin. I initially was going to get the lightest shade, but then I figured if I get the darker shade I can just pick up less, and that turned out to be really great because this blends out really easily. And this also is kind of a little bit more cool than the lighter offerings, so you can see it has that element of gray to it as well. So this is kind of like a darker version of Biscuit, and I really liked it up until I found some honorable mentions, which I will mention right now. So the first honorable mention is going to be the M Cosmetics So Soft collection, and I have the shade Terra right here. This is very similar to Biscuit except that it's a little bit lighter and a little bit more gray. So and also the formula is significantly different. It definitely lives up to the name So Soft. It is extremely soft, like you barely put any pressure on your skin and you just get full pigmentation, full opacity. And then when you blend it out with a brush or a finger, I usually use a brush, but you can use anything. It doesn't lift your foundation, first of all, which is a huge boon for me because I can't ever seem to find cream products that don't eat my foundation. This does not alter my foundation. It looks amazing. It blends out so well. And yeah, it is a really soft stick. I definitely am worried about how fast this is gonna dry out, so we'll see. But yeah, I can't get enough of this. Again, this is the shade Terra. This is really good. And then the next honorable mention is the one that I've been using the most often just because I tend to like, if I set my face and forget to use creams, obviously my powders are going to get used more often just because it's more convenient and I'm lazy. But definitely the Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm right here, specifically this shade, but I can mix both shades to get a bronzer. I use just this shade if I want to contour, and I have just this shade on my on the outside of my face today. You can see how subtle it is. This is a beautiful shade. This is very similar to Terra but lighter. So yeah, super subtle, and because this is right here, I can just mix these two to darken it up a little bit. Honestly, when I first got this during the Sephora VIB sale, I knew I wasn't going to use these two shades very often, so I knew already going into it that I was really only buying half the palette. I was really only buying as if it was a duo, and it still is worth the money for me. That's how much I love these two shades. I also have gone into this shade so often, but like the imprint hasn't flattened out at all, so I guess I can take this into the mausoleum with me. So yeah, I just love this. This is again very similar to the Nabla formula. You know, you need a denser brush to pick it up, and I guess I just have a thing for those kinds of formulas right now because I absolutely love this, even though I like never use the top two shades. I think this is really great. So that's why that's in the bronzer contour category, and it's an honorable mention because I didn't get it until like the end of November or something. Blush. What did I use the most? I think you guys saw this coming. Cheek Pops? Anybody? Clinique Cheek Pops? I actually just got Baby Marble Pop off eBay. It's a Korean exclusive shade. Excited to try that. I have a couple more I need to collect, but yeah, I use these really often because I love them and they're amazing, and I don't see any reason to not use them. I did even get the Cheek Pop Pearls. I have 3 of the 5 shades and I've been loving these too. So yeah, definitely the Clinique Cheek Pop's definitely probably my most used blush, just period. There's a reason I have so many shades and I continue to collect as many of the shades as I want, is because I do actually use them all. So I do thoroughly enjoy having my very holistic collection of Cheek Pops. So definitely that. And then surprisingly, for some odd reason, this very specific pastel cushion blush from the Face Shop has been seeing a lot of use. I'm not usually one for beige blushes because for me it's like, why wear a beige blush, because that's literally like putting bronzer straight on your cheek, which I think it looks great on some people, but I think it looks hideous on me. But then I saw Pony's fall makeup look, and for some period of time at the end of 2021, beige blushes were really popular in Korea, but it was like with a hint of pink or with a hint of orange so that it doesn't read as a total bronzer. And this is one of those shades, although this is a much older release, so this is almost like ahead of its time, I guess. But yeah, this has been really great. I definitely really want to pick up more blushes in similar to this shade. I have a couple on my wish list on YesStyle. Yeah, surprisingly, I ended up using this a lot. And then as kind of my honorable mentions, as usual, I have plenty. So first things first, I want to mention as honorable mention is going to be the So Soft blush stick from M Cosmetics. I only have one shade, Lychee, and I really want to get more. It's just that they're just so expensive per stick. But Lychee is a beautiful shade. Honestly, they all are so beautiful. This makes me really want to try the ABH blush sticks, which I've heard are somewhat similar. They were on sale, but I had it in my cart and then I just got so busy I forgot to check out. But yeah, I love this. Definitely a great solid honorable mention to mention. And then another random honorable mention, and I actually will be making a JACLYN Hill Cosmetics roundup video. I was hoping to have it out before 2022, but it'll probably just have to wait because I'm filming this on the 29th. But the Mood Light loose blushes, these are making me really want the Givenchy Prism Libre loose blushes, which are on Feel Unique, and I think they're finally hitting America next January, so I definitely want to try at least one of those because of this. But like, I know people really like to rag on loose blushes, but like, I actually really like loose blushes. This is like Mood Light but blush colored, and it's like actually magical looking on the cheeks. So yeah, I just want to make this as an honorable mention. I got them on sale. Like, I got one shade when it first came out, and then I got another two shades when they were on sale, so that's why I kind of made it an honorable mention, because the usage for me didn't really pick up until I had the other two shades, which I turned out to like a lot more. So yeah, I'll just throw those in there. But I will be making a full JACLYN Cosmetics video as soon as I can, because I know for some people her brand can come off as like super shady, which completely valid. So, you know, if I can help you guys out if you're interested so that you guys know what to stay away from, I'm willing to. Alright, now let's move on to face palettes. So the first thing I want to say is that I do use my Hourglass palettes off camera. I don't really use them on camera, but I do use them off camera, so I do technically use them the most often of all of my face palettes. I currently do really enjoy the Bacon palette, so I've been using that a lot, so I guess honorable mention there, but I do really like all of my Hourglass palettes. Yeah, I was gonna put Nudegasm as my honorable mention, but I already mentioned it, so I'm just gonna move on. So obviously, I've mentioned it many times now, but my most used top favorite highlighters always forever will be my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors. Very sad that the brand is closed, but I'm very glad that I was able to get all the shades I was missing. So at this point, my collection of shades is pretty exhaustive. I still will forever kick myself and bang my head on the wall for missing out on High Angel, which is the last shade they released before they closed. At this point, that shade is pretty much impossible to obtain. You can't even find it from resellers anymore. Everybody who wants it has it, and nobody's about to give it up. So that shade I've had to call a loss, which is a shame because it really looks like such a beautiful color. I don't know why I held off on buying it. I guess I thought maybe it would go on sale before they closed, but it did sell out, and so totally my mistake there. I should have gotten it. Oh well. Foolish mistake. But I have everything else that I really like, so I'm glad I got that, and I love those very much. And then the next one is not going to be a surprise either, and that would be the Clio Prism Air Highlighter in Gold Sheer, which is right here. This is, as I mentioned before, is such an easy highlighter for me to throw on. It's one of the few highlighters I can put on my nose and it doesn't look darker than my skin, and it's a perfect color. It matches every single makeup look I could ever throw on. I actually have it on my nose and chin right now. It is just a really perfect highlighter. What more can I say? Love it. And lastly, I wanted to mention two quads. So I guess these could be like two face palettes I use, but they're all highlighters, so I'm throwing them in with highlighters. But the first one is definitely got to be the Dior Backstage in Rose Gold, which this you cannot get anymore. It was limited edition and it is sold out, but particularly this pale gold shade up here is such a beautiful gold shade for my skin tone, so I adore this quad. And then secondly, I still use and love my JACLYN Cosmetics palette in the Flash, which is right here. These are available as singles, so you know, the shades themselves aren't discontinued, it's just the palette was limited edition. I very much love this. I couldn't ever see myself hitting pan on any of these because the pans are just huge, but I love it. For a really long time, if I didn't have an inner corner highlight and a palette, I was pulling from this right here. I have been using BECKHAM more often this year, probably just as a nostalgia thing. So I haven't used this recently, but I still wanted to mention this. Next, eye primer. And the biggest surprise of the year has got to be that the eye primer I like the most, thank you Robert Welsh, is Makeup Revolution Prime and Lock. This thing came in clutch. I love this. This is really good and it's not drying at all. I see no dry patches on my eyelid when I use this. I don't really know if it makes my eyeshadow look any better, but in terms of eye primers, it doesn't dry out my eyelids and in fact it feels amazing. So that for me honestly is enough to win me over, regardless of whether it makes my eyeshadow go on better or not. Who can tell? I never can tell. I feel like with dry eyelids, it almost doesn't matter, but regardless, I love this. I am definitely really glad that I picked this up. And for being about $6, you really are not going to lose too much picking this up and trying it, but I love this. So if you have really dry eyelids and you're having trouble finding an eye primer, I would really highly recommend you try this. I definitely feel comfortable recommending this, especially knowing that it is pretty on budget for most people. So yeah. Really like this. Big surprise. And I do want to throw out an honorable mention to the Peiliee Eye Base. This is one of the first eye primers I ever tried. I haven't used it as often recently because I feel like the Makeup Revolution one is slightly more emollient, but I have been using this a lot more recently just for nostalgia's sake, and I still do really like this. So this is just less accessible. I feel like the Makeup Revolution one, since you can get it on Ulta and you can even walk into an Ulta store and get it in most places, that's like way easier to find, whereas this you have to get like on Morphe online or from Peilee's website, or if you live near a Morphe store, which most of us don't, you're gonna find it there. But yeah, I really enjoyed bringing this back out, so honorable mention, I guess. Next is going to be eyebrows. So first things first I want to mention is the brow blade right here. I used this a lot in the first half of the year, but my usage has since dropped off, so this might be the last time you ever really hear me mentioning this in a favorites video, but I use this often enough that I had to mention it. I've gone through about 3 or 4 at this point, so I have used it as a lot. And then I don't have it anymore because I just panned my last one, and I don't have any backups because I'm waiting for it to be half off for 21 Days of Beauty again, but the Brow Wiz is still a mainstay for me. It is pretty much one of my favorite eyebrow pencils ever. I always find myself going back to it. I do really want to try the NYX one since I've heard that's a good dupe for it, so I'm going to try that just because I desperately need more brow pencils. But yeah, I don't have it, but I use that a lot. And then the newest find for me this year, which is what displaced my brow blade, because I really only like the brow blade because it had the best brow pen I've ever used on one end of it, but the NYX Professional Lift and Snatch Brow Pen, oh my goodness, what a find. NYX came through. This is an amazing brow pen. It is better than Brow Flick, which for the longest time was the only brow pen I used just because I had it and I couldn't find alternatives. It is amazing, and I use basically only this now in conjunction with Brow Wiz if I have a Brow Wiz. So that's why my usage of Brow Blade has dropped so significantly. That explains it. This is so good. Again, this is another product where I am 100% confident to recommend it to anybody who watches this video, especially because again, this is so affordable, but you're gonna like this if you like brow pens. And I have it on today. I pretty much always use a brow pen to fill in the front of my eyebrow so that I can get those hairs back. I feel like naturally my eyebrows are too far apart from each other and I do want to bring them in. And my favorite way to do that is to draw more hairs with a pen, and that just brings them, literally I just need them to be 2 or 3 millimeters closer together. That's what I use it for, so really like it for that. And next we're gonna move on to mascara. So the first mascara I want to mention I don't currently have because I haven't needed it, just because I got a lash lift and so I just haven't really needed a waterproof mascara. But before I got my lash lift, I was pretty much a stickler for the Peripera Ink Black Cara in Volume Black. Love it, still love it. Do want to continue to maintain a lash lift for the foreseeable future, but if I ever like drop off or get lazy or don't want to do it, I definitely would repurchase that mascara in a heartbeat. I love how volumizing it is. It really only competes with the Kiss Me Heroin Make mascara, which I haven't bought in a while because the last time I got one I got a fake, so I just haven't bought one yet. I know it's my fault for buying it off Amazon. I've just been lazy to buy another one, especially now that my lashes are lifted. The Ink Black Cara is so good, and that one's really not that expensive. I've mentioned before, literally the only downside to it really is just that waterproof mascaras are very difficult to remove, so you definitely want to be patient. In terms of non-waterproof lash mascaras, the other mascara I have definitely used the most would be the LANCOME Lash Idole mascara. I have used it on my bottom lashes in almost every single video up until basically like August or something. Mine at this point is dried out, and again, I haven't repurchased it yet, mostly just because it's so expensive. And there was a really huge mascara sale on Ulta, and I'm trying a bunch of new mascaras right now. So currently I'm having a lot of fun trying out these 4 mascaras right here. So I guess these could be honorable mentions that are just entertaining me right now. I really like Damn Girl. I feel like this is super volumizing. The wand is just so freaking big. Roller Lash is really good. It's kind of like a more subtle version of Lash Idole. This is a brown mascara, which I don't have any of, so I definitely like it, although it's not super volumizing. And then I find Lash Freak has a really interesting wand, to say the least. I've only used this once though so far, so no words on it yet. But yeah, these were like 10 bucks each, and I just kind of went a little mascara crazy over Black Friday, so I've been really liking these. So I guess these are my honorable mentions for now, just because I've been using these so often. Next, eyeliner. So first off, rest in peace Flow Flushy. All of my Flow Flushy eyeliners have dried out except for my brown one, which is still holding on to its last legs, but once this dries out, it will officially have been the end of an era for me, because for the longest time I only used these until Flow Flushy had the audacity to like not exist anymore, and now it's Yuzu, and I hate Yuzu's I swear Yuzu reformulated, because I hate it. I really adored these for the longest time. They're so heavy and weighty. The brush tip was amazing. The octagonal packaging was so aesthetic and also really easy to hold, and it doesn't roll around on the desk. This was everything to me. Love it. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. And in the meantime, the best replacement I found for it is the Urban Decay Perversion Waterproof Brush liner. But this is a actual brush tip, so I really liked the roller liner formula, but I gave it to my sister when I realized, to my tragedy, it was felt tip. Cannot stand felt tip. This is an actual brush tip. It is so good of a brush tip that I can actually use this black liner to draw fake lower lashes like I did today. So really good, and the brush tip is so precise, it's so flexible, it doesn't irritate my eyes, and it is very black, very matte, and it's a little difficult to remove, but the finish is more than worth it. So this is definitely a really solid replacement for the Flow Flushy liner. Really happy I have this. I will probably continue to use this for the foreseeable future, and once I run out, I'll probably repurchase it. And then next, the Clio So Sharp So Simple waterproof pencil liners. I mentioned this in my reacting to my favorites video that I still use these. These are still going strong. I tried the Too Faced Killer liners to see if they were any better. Absolutely not. These are still where it's at. Mine are finally starting to dry out a little bit, so I will probably replace them soon. But yeah, these are still where it's at for me. And then kind of a mild honorable mention, I've only used the brown shade so far, but the Melt gel liners are really good. Now they're super emollient to the point where you could even use them as a cream shadow if you wanted, so definitely give them ample time to dry and don't use too much product. Like, I use the lid to really kind of pull product off to make sure the brush is nice and even, but they make for really good eyeliners. Very opaque, very matte, and once they set, they do not budge. I do absolutely love these, and I really want to use these more. I definitely want to do more gel eyeliner in 2022. So definitely kind of I want to focus on my gel liners next year. So yeah. False lashes. So in the beginning of the year, I was really singing my praises for the House of Lashes in Patrick Ta, but after trying DOE Lashes, which I have a case here, it's just really cute. After trying DOE Lashes, I've come to realize that those lashes from House of Lashes and Patrick Ta were actually really not sitting on my lash line in the best way possible. Better exists, and that is DOE Lashes. So the 2 lashes that I have open from them right now are both from DOE. You can see here that one of them is really short and the other one is longer. These are just perfect. The band is thick, so it doesn't droop on my eyes. It can push back against my monolids, but it's a very comfortable and soft band, so it doesn't really feel like I'm wearing false lashes. Their long lashes are wispy enough, and they're not so long they touch your eyebrows, which is a problem I have with Western false lashes. Like Lily Lashes is notoriously guilty for this, where didn't consider smaller eyes. They really didn't, and so their lashes just go straight up to my eyebrows and I look stupid. These lashes in the bottom, for example, are long and glam, but they look surprisingly great on my monolids, so thoroughly can recommend these. I feel like everything DOE does is amazing. They've released a ton of great varieties of lashes this year. The only crime they make is that most of them are limited edition, so get them while you can. But I absolutely love them. DOE really has my heart. They have grown so much in 2020 and I couldn't be more happy because that means I get to have more lash styles from them, that they'll keep releasing more lashes. Next, Liquid Lips Matte. Definitely I was using the Romand Zero Velvet Tint a lot this year, so absolutely love this. I definitely definitely feel like second place, so not honorable mention because I've had these for a while, but second place would definitely be the M Cosmetics Infinite Lip Clouds. The only reason I don't have more shades is because they're crazy expensive, and unlike the True Glosses, they haven't done a $5 special on these yet. If they do a $5 special, I'll definitely pick up the rest. Romand is just way cheaper. Like, you can get it for as low as $7 to $8 if you wait for a sale on Stylovana or something, so I just think for the price, you can't go wrong with Zero Velvet Tint. And at this point, they have so many shades. Now, I will say the honorable mention is a strong one, and if they release more shades in this formula, you better bet Zero Velvet might have somebody coming from their money. The Romand Blur Fudge tints, which I know, silly name, Blur Fudge tint. These are just mind-blowing. Zero Velvet tint is matte, but it's not completely matte, and it does transfer a little bit, but in exchange you get a really comfortable wear. These are matte. I mean, these make Zero Velvet look creamy. These are so matte, but they feel amazing, and in the name blur, they blur. Oh yes, they do. It's like somebody took the Peripera Ink Matte Blur tint but like made it better. Absolutely are coming for Zero Velvet's throne. I love these. The only limitation is that they only have 8 shades in the range, of which I have 5. I can't believe how good these are. Or maybe they have 12 shades. I can't remember. Whatever. Not very many shades compared to Zero Velvet because they literally just came out the end of this year. But these are really coming for that gun. I mean, these are so good. I cannot believe it. These are amazing. They keep selling out because everybody loves them so much. Next, we're going to talk about liquid glosses or liquid dewy tints, whatever, just if it's liquid and it's glowy. So the ones I used the most this year definitely is going to hand that to Romand Juicy Lasting, which again, so many shades, really pretty finish. It does at this point in time feel a little bit dated in terms of kind of trendy Korean finishes, and I had a comment asking about making a video on that, so I definitely will make a video where I kind of talk about what I mean when I say these things. But yeah, I definitely did use these, like, just numerically speaking, I used Juicy Lasting the most, so of course I had to include it. And again, price, finish, color range, I mean, like, really, you'll find something you like in that range. But I will have to say I got some honorable mentions, but first I gotta mention second place. Second place is gonna be the Unleashia Non-Sticky Dazzle tints. I really wanted to go back and get the other 3 shades I'm missing, but one of the shades is sold out on YesStyle, so I'm sad. They are available on Beauty Box Korea, so maybe I'll buy them there, but yeah, these are really great. I have mentioned before how much I love these. They have like micro sparkles in them. You don't feel them though, like you really don't. So these are kind of sparkly, but yeah, really, really pretty. Judy actually has a video where she lip swatches all 5 shades, so you can just go watch that for more information on the colors and the finish. But suffice to say, these blew me away, and I still really, really like them. And I wish I had the other shades. Honorable mentions. I got 2, and they both, again, really coming for that title of my favorite. But the first one I'm going to mention is and so in my previous reacting to my makeup favorites, I mentioned how the Ink Tint Serum was my favorite, and it's not anymore because it's been dethroned. And I had a comment saying that, oh, they were sad because they bought it because of me. And I will say I still can wholeheartedly recommend Ink Tint Serum, but I'm not even kidding. The only reason Ink Tint Serum got overthrown is because this had the audacity to release at all. And again, this came out in the tail end of 2021. So Ink Tint Serum was reigning champion up until this came out. This is just that good. And this is the Romand Dewy Full Water Tint. It is exactly what it says on the tint. It's a dewy water tint. It has that, it's gorgeous. I actually have a shade on my lips today. I have the shade Berry Divine, which is right here. So it's, first off, the packaging is just beautiful, and I love how the packaging complements the Blur Fudge packaging really, really well. So they definitely really stepped up the packaging, but these are sorcery. I have not had a better water tint than these. These are amazing. Only limitation to these is that they're new, so the shade range is not that great, but it's still a pretty good shade range. I mean, I have almost all the shades. Like, I have more shades of this than the Blur Fudge tint because I love every single shade in the range so much. These are just amazing. I don't understand. They're thinner than the Juicy Lasting tint. They're not sticky in the slightest, and yet even though I've been wearing this at this point for over an hour, you can see the glow still persists. It still looks dewy and glowy, whereas the Juicy Lasting tint I feel like loses some of the juiciness. This it just maintains. It feels amazing. I don't understand. And this is like that perfect balance of pigmented but translucent at the same time, which I totally can recommend Blur Fudge and Dewy Full Water Tint to just about everyone. The only thing with Blur Fudge is you definitely still want to make sure you have hydrated lips. It is matte, but this is much more forgiving. Chapped lips, moisturized lips, whatever, you're gonna look good wearing this. I mean, these are just amazing. I cannot say enough good things about these. And the next honorable mention, which is going to be the YSL water stains. I finally managed to get my dirty mittens on these because I've been wanting them for so long, and these are every bit as hyped up as I thought they would be. Yeah, I don't know, these are like really, really good. And it's hard for me to describe the finish. I would say the closest dupe that I would have to it would be the Dewy Full Water tint, in just how sophisticated and beautiful the dewy finish is. That would kind of be the closest formula dupe, but the colors are like completely different. So yeah, I find these to be really unique, really pretty. I have trouble recommending them because they are god-awful expensive, and I feel like no lip product is worth that price past a certain point. So obviously, I got these all on sale. I am not paying full price for one of these, but yeah, I really like it. I know lips is the largest category. I love me a diverse range of lip formulas. So let's move on to, I do have one sheer lip gloss I want to mention that I have been wearing a lot, and that would be my DIOR Lip Oil, particularly Rosewood. Due to the fact that I've been wearing masks, obviously, I don't wear this out because it would just get all over the mask, but this is my favorite to put on as like a lip balm when I'm just at home. Yeah, I used to wear this way more often. Like every time I went out, if I didn't already have makeup on, this got thrown on my lips. Every time I went out, every single time. But now with masks on, it would just get all over the mask, so that's the only reason the usage of this has dropped, but it still was used pretty frequently just at home. Next, I'm gonna move on to matte lipsticks, and I've definitely said this before, and you definitely can notice just looking at what I use in videos, but I'm not really a lipstick person. I feel like it's hard for me to apply lipsticks to my lips. My lips are really weirdly shaped, like really weirdly shaped, very unflattering shape, and I feel like I have more control and more ability to contour, overline, and correct my lips with lip liner and a liquid lipstick, so my lipstick collection is like that big. But I do have two things I wanted to mention I've been really enjoying using in the last 2 months of 2021. So the first thing is going to be the YSL Slim matte lipsticks. I have both the Slim Glow Matte and the Slim Velvet Radical. I have both here. Again, YSL had a pretty big sale. These were like buy one get one free, so like got a couple. I think these are pretty matte. I don't know why it's called Slim Glow Matte. I think these are pretty matte, and between this and the Slim Velvet Radical, honestly the finishes are too close to really have too much of a significant difference between them, so whatever. YSL just keeps releasing lipsticks left, right, left, right, left, right, and I feel like at the end of the day their finishes are pretty similar, particularly the matte lipsticks, but whatever, the colors are really nice. So yeah, I just, you know, it's nice, I like it, and I definitely have been really enjoying using it, but I'm just naming it an honorable mention because obviously I'm using it because it's YSL and I got it, and I've always dreamed of having YSL lipsticks, and now that dream is fulfilled and I'm happy. But these are actually like good lipsticks. Literally the only reason I don't wear lipsticks is because of me. It's not because of lipsticks, it's just because I feel like I have such a complex about my lip shape, and you know, I always keep telling myself one day I'll get it fixed and then I'll wear lipsticks more often, but that day has not come yet, so here we are. And then next, I really wanted to mention, this was totally not something I expected, but I was gifted this by a friend and I adore it. It's definitely really nostalgic now, but I got Dior 999 in the matte finish. You guys, Dior red is not playing around. This is a beautiful red, and the matte formula is really comfortable, really easy to wear. I definitely love overlining my lips like crazy when I wear this. This is such a great red color. I really enjoy this. So if you've been thinking about it and you've been wanting to get it, then I have nothing to say that would dissuade you from getting it because I really like it. And it makes me want more Dior lipsticks, which curses. It's a cursed gift. Cursed and blessed gift. Alright, now we're gonna move on to kind of my balmier lipsticks, which if I do wear a lipstick, it is almost guaranteed to be some kind of sheer tinted or translucent balm, because that's one of the few formulas I feel like is not possible to replicate well in liquid formula, because there's just something about a creamy stick balm. It just looks a certain way, and I love how it looks. So the first one on top of the list is definitely going to be the ColourPop Hello Kitty lip balms. I wish so badly they had turned this into an actual thing. Like, I really wish they had released more shades of this and like made it an actual part of their range, not just a Hello Kitty thing, because I want more shades of these. The formula in these is no joke, and I definitely have been like on a huge break from ColourPop lately, but these are really good. And so of course it's the one thing where they never really turned it into a range, and that makes me so mad because I would have loved to see more shades in these. Like, these are all fairly light shades. I would have loved to see darker shades of these. Berries, brick reds. I really would have loved to see them expand on this, and they didn't, and that makes me so mad, but I still definitely love these. And as a bonus, the packaging is adorable. On that line, I also therefore then have to mention that one of the lipsticks I got got during the lipstick sale, and it was a buy one get one free lipstick sale, and now that I know how much I love this formula, I really wish I had gone back and gotten more, but oh well, I didn't. So I only have this one. It's the YSL. It is the Rouge Shine. It's the Rouge Shine Balm. It comes in the gold packaging, and it has the, you know, that bullet shape here. This is beautiful. It's definitely way more pigmented than I expected, which is why I really wish I'd gone back and gotten more shades. I thought it would be more sheer than it was. It's really, really pretty. It's kind of like the elevated, more luxe version of the ColourPop ones. And that really says something about how good the ColourPop ones are, that I can call them a version of this, you know, that really says something about how good ColourPop is. This is really, really good though. Definitely luxe lipsticks. I still would not say a luxe lipstick is worth it unless it's buy one get one free, but like once you put them on, you definitely can feel like the finish is very sophisticated, very elevated, definitely on another level. Just not enough levels up to justify the price. But yeah, this is really nice. I've definitely been enjoying this, and I guess if they ever do another buy one get one free and they're like back in stock, you know, I'll get more, but like I'm not buying them full price though. Lastly, as an honorable mention, this year's collab Shu Uemura did with a really big IP was with Hello Kitty, and I really wish that the foundation had come to America. I saw it on the Hong Kong site, but it like never came to America, so I'll never get to try the Hello Kitty print foundation jar, and my heart is shattered. So I really only indulged in one lipstick, but the one shade I do have is Ginger Flash. This is a beautiful finish. I love this. This is really good. Really pretty finish. Shu Uemura lipsticks definitely are something I have my eye on in the future. I was gonna indulge in their sale a little bit more, but I just don't have the budget. They'll have more sales in the future. I definitely am putting Shu Uemura lipsticks on the short list of things I want to get more of in 2022. Just really surprised me. And the packaging is so cute too. So like it's pretty cute and functional. So yeah, and Ginger Flash is a really pretty nudie shade on me. Really, really like it. Alright, I think that's it for my lip products. The last thing for lips is going to be lip liners, and then finally this long video can draw to a close. So for lip liners, I wanted to say the one that I used the most first was ColourPop Another Round, but then I found better options. I was really only using that because I was looking for better options at the time, so now that I have better options, I have stopped using it, and what I currently have been using the most are the JACLYN liners. I will preface by saying the only reason I have them is because there was a really huge sale where, I'm not even joking, they were like $9 each, at which point you can't really argue anything for the price. That being said, they are legitimately good, and I don't know if I'd buy them full price just because like lip liners, it's lip liners. But for the sale price I got them at, absolutely worth it, and I feel like, you know, they'll go on sale again. So currently I have 3 shades because I was trying to find my perfect shade, and right now I've been really enjoying Blondie and Macaron. Blondie is kind of the cooler pink option, and Blondie is the warmer beige option. I have a couple more lip liners on my try list for 2022, particularly the ones from Makeup by Mario seem really promising. But in the meantime, I've been using these the most ever since I got them. So yeah, I really like these, and you know, I'll mention these in my JACLYN video, but these are really great. And then as an honorable mention, Nabla Cupid's Arrow in number 1. I initially got this to line my waterline with, and then I realized very quickly it's way too late for what I want it for. But surprise sleeper hit, this is an excellent lip liner. It makes me question how good this would be as a shadow stick because it is so creamy and so soft and so smooth on my lips that I use this as a lip liner now. I don't even use this. I've never even bothered trying this on my eyes because I just use it for my lips. This is really great. It's even lighter than Blondie, so it is just absolutely perfect for the ultra natural overline. I feel like it lets me overline my lips and then create a blurred, like kind of Korean blurred lip effect using this to make my lips larger without looking too completely unnatural. Like this is really good. So big sleeper hit. Looking forward to using this a lot more in 2022 for sure. All right, we're done. That rounds it up. I'm done. I have talked my lungs off. It is so late at night. I need to be in bed like an hour ago, but I finally finished filming this. This is the makeup I used the most in 2021. Looking forward to seeing what I used the most in 2022. I'll probably react to this and we can then go on another public embarrassment video of what I ended up forgetting about, which will be hilarious. I definitely want to continue to try my best to be mindful of what I'm buying. I don't want to buy something and then like immediately regret buying it, which happened to me a couple times this year. So, you know, we really gotta keep working on that, but I am still so excited to see what 2022 has to offer for makeup. I know my little ADHD brain loves all the shinies, so yeah, I hope this was a fun video for you guys. We'll see what's up next. I will see you guys in the next video very soon. In the meantime, bye bye.